He invites me. I love Neil Diamond. I'm sitting in the audience. And he said, hey, come on up, Henry Winkler. And then he says, Song Sung Blue, let's sing it together.
No.
Oh my gosh.
And so he would sing Song Sung Blue. And I went, Song Sung Blue. And I just repeated everything he sang.
Somebody gonna cue me or do I cue myself?
Cue yourself.
Okay. Hey. We are back with another Let's Talk Off Camera, so let's get talking. It's about to make sense, everyone, I promise. Today we have the Emmy Award-winning actor, producer, director, and author Henry Winkler is joining us.
Yeah.
He was brilliant in Barry, my personal favorite.
Oh,
Just when I
so
thought I
good.
couldn't love Henry Winkler anymore, he did Barry. But you also know him from Arrested Development, Royal Pains, The Water Boy, Here Comes the Boom, and of course, like I referenced before, say it with me, everyone. Hey. The Fonz from Happy Days. I'm so excited to talk to him. But before we get to Henry, let's check in with Jan Albert. We had a hiatus.
Yes.
Was it restful for you two? How was it?
Jan?
It was good. I moved Luke back into school, so he went back to Michigan. Such a better transition this year than what we dealt with last year, as you know. Like he did not.
He didn't bring the drama.
He didn't bring the drama. It was really great. And yeah, we had a nice break. We've been off for a while, so it was nice to just like. I honestly didn't go anywhere, but it was nice to like just not have everything buzzing around and just like calm down for a little bit. So I did a lot of like running and, you know, Pilates and all the good
Amazing.
stuff. Oh, but here's the best thing that happened over break. And this is the most important thing. Roz had her baby.
What?
Yes.
When was
I have
everybody
show
going to
you-
tell me?
Wait, I have to show you a picture.
When did this happen?
Wait, I can't believe I didn't lead with that because that's the best part.
Good Lord.
I know.
Wait.
Deb, where's the picture?
Oh my gosh. He's so beautiful. He's so big.
His name's Sasha.
Sasha. Great name.
Isn't he cute?
He's beautiful.
And she's doing great.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Oh my gosh. I have to send a gift, you
He's
guys.
sweetie.
I mean, you know how
Sweetie.
I like to send my Moses baskets filled with stuff.
I know you have the best baby gifts.
I am very fastidious about my baby gifting. I don't like shit. I don't like when they put useless shit in the basket. I'm like, no teddy bears, and don't give him a sterling silver rattle. We need burp cloths. We need onesies. We need socks. We
It's
need
like essentials.
We need essentials. We need comfy, cozy zip-ups in 3 sizes.
And the other hugely exciting thing that happened over the break was someone became a legend in the room.
Oh. I was like Freddie
Yes,
Mercury.
Disney
had a birth-
legend.
Thank you.
Disney legend.
Thank you very much.
What was it like walking out to that crowd?
It was terrifying. It was really, really scary. Super scary. Super scary.
Your speech was
The
great.
speech was incredible.
Thank you. I got good laughs.
Yeah.
You got a lot of good laughs. Did you hang with my boyfriend Ayyyy at all?
I did.
Yeah.
I saw Ayyyy a lot. Oh, I got a text from Ayyyy today.
No.
In fact, about this here podcast.
What did he
really?
say?
He listened to it. He loved it. He got a million compliments
Oh, wow.
about it. And then he said something very funny about how.
Yeah.
Let me read
it.
Let me read it to you because it's very funny. Finally got to hear it this weekend and loved it. I also got a ton of positive feedback, but then again, hardly anyone ever says anything negative about me. And I said to him, "It's honestly my favorite episode. You are so charming and funny and down to earth and all the other things people say. Thanks for doing it. You really classed us up."
Wow.
Yeah.
That was good, right?
And Richard Chalet, who's our harshest critic,
yes.
loved it.
Loved it. I had a feeling Richard Chalet. I was like, Richard Chalet is going to like this
Dad
one.
loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And
episode
another one
I
of his
listened to the
favorite
most.
people, Henry Winkler, is ready
Yes.
to talk
Oh
to
my
us.
gosh. Okay.
I loved his book.
I know. Oh my gosh. Hi, Henry. Did you see that? I got kisses.
You did.
It's so good to see you.
You know what? I was going to say the same. You beat me to it.
I've got to tell you, Jan and I read your book over our summer break, and you just never disappoint. You never, ever disappoint. I want to get into it, but first I want to get into you a little bit. We were preambling before you got on about how you, pardon the pun, never jump the shark. You just keep giving and giving and giving. But it's called Being Henry, the Fonz, and Beyond. I've got to tell you, I got hooked by the Beyond. I bought it for the Fonz and I stayed for the Beyond.
What a lovely way to say it. Thank you.
You know, I just saw a picture of your 3 gorgeous grandsons, and you're
Yes.
at your daughter's 6th anniversary party for This Is About Humanity,
Yes.
which I've been on service trips for because Elsa Collins is one of my best friends.
Oh my goodness, yes. They are amazing. The 3 of them created this thing out of thin air. There is no overhead.
Right.
And all the money goes to the children who are abandoned or separated from their family.
What's amazing is when we were there, Zoe is one of the most empathic people I've ever met in my life.
Oh, thank you.
She really is. Like, she's truly a wonderful person.
Thank you.
And when we were there, we constructed like a playground. And it was very funny because, you know, it's a bunch of, I'm not going to call us fancy girls, but I got to tell you, us constructing a playground was remarkable even to us.
You know what? Well, here's the thing. All that matters is that you did it and it got done. All that matters is that there's now a playground where there wasn't one.
Yes. But I've got to tell you, you know, it's hard to raise kids. Now you've got grandkids,
Yes.
which I'm told is like a much more pleasant proposition.
For me, I loved being a parent.
Yeah.
And what I found was what I learned: speak in short sentences and listen. The herd child is a powerful child.
It's so funny. I read all of those Hank Zipzer books that you wrote, you know, back in the day. And my son is dyslexic and dysgraphic. We've talked about this many times.
We have.
But those stories really resonated not just with Joaquin, but with all of my kids, because you created such a safe world for kids.
Thank you.
But do your grandkids think you're as cool as like my kids think you are?
Yeah. You know what? That's an interesting question. Around his 7th birthday, our oldest grandson, who is now 13,
Wow.
for Halloween went as the Fonz.
Oh my gosh.
And I walked in the room because my favorite thing to do is to sit on their stoop and hand out candy.
Right.
I've done it since Zoe was 2. She is now 42. And when my youngest grandson, who is now 7, when we first started, he would sit in the barrel of candy in the middle of it and hand it out over the wall, you know, over
It's
the
amazing.
lip.
That's incredible. Have they seen all 11 seasons of Happy Days?
No.
Have they seen any Happy Days?
Do you know what? Depending on the parent, my oldest son, Jed, who came with the marriage, he was the gift with the marriage, Zoe, and now Max, it is up to them to show it or not show it. You know, they see me sometimes on a commercial for eye care,
Yeah, right.
you know, and they go, "Oh, that's Papa."
I can't believe, and Jan told me this, but I can't believe that I'm older than Happy Days.
Yeah.
It's the 50th anniversary, and yet it doesn't seem that long ago. It says resonates as much today as it did then. What do you
know,
think
I'll
about it?
I'll tell you exactly. First of all, it was so much fun to do. Second of all, I was playing my imagination. I
Right.
wish I was that guy. Third of all, Gary Marshall put it in the 50s for the exact reason to keep it ageless.
Right.
And then we told, because it was on in the 70s and 80s, we told 70s and 80s stories, but it was set in the 50s, so it never felt like you were being hit on the head.
Right.
The
Yeah.
moral was there. It just never felt like we were preaching.
Do you have a favorite moment or episode of Happy Days that lives in your mind where you were like, that was perfect?
All right, here it is.
Okay.
I got, on my 27th birthday, I got the call, would I like to be in the show? That was my favorite moment.
Yeah.
Now, cut to, I am 72 years old, and I get the call, would I like to do Barry?
Oh.
So the numbers got reversed.
Right.
But the enormity of the show, two very different genres, two unbelievably favorite moments in my professional career. And the next one will be whatever I do next.
Oh, so you always go into it with that level of enthusiasm?
Absolutely. It is always because, first of all, it's my dream, right? I'm living my dream and I'm still at it. So that's amazing. And the other thing is, there are actors who say, I don't want to do more than 7 years because, I'm there's bigger things out there. Now they leave a show. They think, well, now this show is so big. I now have the world as my oyster. And they are still waiting for the phone to ring.
It's what's kept me at my job for the past 25 years.
I'm with you.
Terrified.
I'm with you.
They'll have to carry me out feet first.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Kelly, you are great at it.
Oh, thank you.
Your enthusiasm is available every morning, every time you tune in. Your joie de vivre jumps off the screen.
Albert, how come you never use the word joie de vivre when you talk?
Write that down.
Yeah,
and say
write
I'll
that
text
down.
it to you daily.
Text it to me now because that's so nice. That is very nice. I'm looking, Jan. I want you to come see Henry behind me here.
With the Emmy in the background.
That's right. I wanted you to see the Emmy in the background. Is that for Barry?
That is for Barry.
Wow. I know.
And I have to tell you, it was one of the great moments of my professional life.
Yeah.
If you listen very carefully, if you play back the show in which I won it,
right,
you can hear them say, "This is Henry Winkler's 1,000th nomination, his first win."
I got emotional when you won.
Thank you.
I really did. I felt like my friend who I love and admire and just think the world of and is genuinely, you're such a good person.
Well, can I just say 94% of the time.
Yeah, but that's a very high percentage.
It is.
But for me, I thought, no, that can't be his first Emmy because, my God, he's so amazing in everything. It was just like a moment, and you could see everybody else was happy for you. That's when like when everybody else is happy for you.
I'm telling you, it was great. Now, people, I had to watch it back because people said, everybody stood up.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I walked up the stairs, and in front of me were the two actors in The Crown, Queen Elizabeth and Philip. And I start talking to them about the second season.
Right. Of course you did.
They're looking at me like, are you nuts? And then I realized I have a speech to give.
Right.
I spin around and flashing in red, 39 seconds.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I spoke so quickly. I'm telling you, I had to get everything in.
That's the thing. It's like, if Henry Winkler this is why I need to start producing the Emmys. And here's why. If Henry Winkler wins an Emmy and it's his first Emmy, you turn that clock off and let him go. What he's about to say is going to be beautiful. His acceptance speech will win a second Emmy.
Wow, thank you. So I am making a call right after we are finished.
Yes.
To the head of the Academy.
The Academy, yes.
Yeah.
And say, Kelly Ripa had a great idea.
Should be 39 minutes instead of seconds.
You need to give me, for my next Emmy win, 39 minutes to speak. So, okay, so here's the interesting thing.
Yes.
You know, you're talking about taking the role of Fonzie and it being the complete opposite of what you felt like in real life. Like,
Yes, that is
not
true.
the cool guy, not
Right.
the guy that's like everything's easy for.
Right.
Then we're going to flash forward. You're 72. You're no longer 27. You take the role of Barry's acting coach,
Right, Gene.
Mr. Cousineau.
Cousineau.
And he is the most narcissistic, self-centered. You know, he's such a Hollywood character, right?
Yes.
And I think, my God, that is the complete opposite of who Henry Winkler is. So are you just attracted to the opposite of what you are internally?
No, I am attracted to that stuff because I'm so dyslexic. I function completely on my tummy, and my tummy knows. And I just read something and go, oh, I can do that. And then I'm very lucky because in both areas, in both shows, I had amazing writers. And everything starts with the word. You can't do your job unless it's on the page. And there are people who write like a river. Just the words flow, the emotionality, the humanity is there implanted on the paper.
Bill Hader created this TV show, Barry.
Yes, with Alec Berg.
With Alec Berg.
Right.
Did you sit down with them
Yes.
and say, what is wrong with both of you?
No, I've had that thought.
Yes,
but
right.
I never voiced it.
Okay.
What I
Jim,
did do-
we have to get them on the podcast because I'm curious.
What I did do is between year 1 and 2, we read the scripts, and I went, oh, I have to have a meeting with you. Now, in the first year, I created Gene Cousineau, and people liked him. Now, in the second year, I don't recognize him in anything that I'm reading. They said, don't worry, we will never repeat ourselves, but there will be jokes.
Right.
And I'm telling you that what you have to do is give yourself over to these brilliant men
Right.
and just go on the ride and not question it.
Yeah. I read that you were offered the John Travolta
Yes,
role,
Danny Zuko.
Danny Zuko in Greece.
Yes, yes.
And so why did you turn it down?
Well, I dated Marcia Zuko, but but
I
this
remember
is-
that.
Yeah, but this is the reason. In my pathetic mind, I thought to myself, I have now been the Fonz for 10 years. I'm now going to play him again in the movies. I'm going to be so typecast I will never get work again.
You'll never not be able to, like, you'll a leather coat will be in your wardrobe for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Right.
So, what happened? I go home, I relax, I have a V8.
Okay.
John Travolta goes home and buys a plane.
Right. Right.
Do you sing? Like, can you sing? Could
Yeah,
you?
you can sing. Can't you sing?
Can I sing?
He's a singer. Yeah.
I am not a singer. Here's my dream.
Give me
is
your
that
dream.
I could sing like Louis Cabaldi, like Bruno, like The Boss,
Right.
like Brandy Carlisle.
Right.
I dream to sing and take the audience on a journey. I sing and I watch the audience get up and run for the exit.
Stop.
I have
I
seen
don't
it.
believe
I
that.
don't believe it either.
It's
I
true.
don't
saw
believe
a good,
it.
I saw a
Yeah.
good video of you singing with Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond. What about that? What say you to that?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. A friend of ours, Gary Smith,
Yes.
produced the night. It was also a television show, Hot August Night. He invites me. I love Neil Diamond. At that time,
doesn't?
nobody admitted to having Neil Diamond records, except that he sold billions. So somebody had to have them besides me.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the
we
audience.
all had Neil Diamond
Yes.
records.
Okay. I'm sitting in the audience, and he said, hey, we got a surprise for you. Come on up, Henry Winkler. And I think, thank God I bought this new sweater. And I walk up, I look good, and then he says, "Hey, song sung blue, let's sing it together."
No.
Okay, so here it is. I'm so dyslexic. I only hear the sound of the song. I actually cannot remember the words. And so as he sang it, I sang it in staccato. He would sing song sung blue, and I went song sung blue, and I just repeated
Genius.
everything he sang, never knowing. And if he stopped, I would be dead.
Yeah, if you had to take over the singing of the song, right?
I would have dropped through the floor of the Greek theater.
Yeah, that's when you fake a heart attack. That's the moment that you just fake it.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Did you get dizzy in the head?
What I did was I immediately bought incense, and I have built a small altar, which I pray to every day that it never happens
Again. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to talk about your relationship with Adam Sandler.
I love him.
And he loves you.
He is whatever you imagine. He is wacky.
Yeah.
He is different. He is a family man. He is loyal. He is funny. We, Stacey and I, were invited, and we went to some Fakakta theater in Pasadena to watch his special. And now it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
He is an amazement. He had a vision. You know, when he directs or he's in a movie, he is in charge of every detail. There's not a frame that gets by him, no matter what it is. I love him and I respect him deeply. I'm not crazy about the way he dresses.
Well, he dresses, I think it's a human character choice. He's playing the role of Adam Sandler.
Yes.
And if he shows up in anything other than baggy basketball pants to his knees and a raggedy T-shirt, we won't recognize him. Because
That is so true.
I saw him at a fancy party back when he was nominated for
Uncut Gems. Was he not
Yes.
unbelievable?
He
in
was
that movie?
unbelievable. He was brilliant. It was
my
amazing. And he was wearing a suit. And I walked right by him. I didn't recognize Adam Sandler.
You know
didn't.
why?
Yeah.
He was trying on a brand new persona.
Yes.
He was trying to be George Gershwin. It's amazing that he just flips like that.
So he told this story on the talk show many years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, he didn't even tell it. It was Chris Rock that told it.
Yeah.
So he did Grown Ups, and he bought David Spade, Kevin James, Chris Rock, Rob Schneider. He bought them all Maseratis. They each got a Maserati.
He did not.
I swear to God. What did you get is my point.
Okay, I did Waterboy. He called me up in the middle of the night. He said, "Henry, I need a favor. My actor didn't show up. I need you to drive right now to the park in LA. It is now 11:30 at night." I say, "Okay." I shave, I drive, I go, I sit, I get makeup until 3:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Do you know what I got?
What?
A cookie.
But you've done 3 movies with him. You haven't gotten there's no Maserati for Henry Winkler?
I didn't even get to keep my wardrobe.
Jan makes dreams come true. Jan,
Get a Maserati.
I want you to call Adam Sandler.
Okay.
And I want you to tell him that Henry Winkler should have, what kind of car do you like? Let's make it a car.
I don't want a Maserati because, can I just say, that would be so low to get into.
the ground,
I would have to sleep in it.
Right.
I could never get out.
So what's a good Like, what's a fancy car? I'm a New Yorker. I don't know cars.
A Lexus, the small version of
A small
the
Lexus
a small Lexus version of the the SUV.
SUV. I want you to reach out to him. I will. Wait, now, did Adam Sandler teach you how to smoke cigars?
He did. During the making of the Waterboy, I had my first Cuban cigar.
Huh?
And I now go fishing. Stacy and I, we learned to be in separate boats.
Okay.
Actually, I needed to be in a separate boat, and because I would fish in her water, and then we would argue, and now the water is all mine, and I smoke a Cuban cigar only when I'm fishing.
Only when you're fishing. I was going to invite you here because Mark loves Cuban cigars so much.
Well, what's his favorite? Mine is the Bolivar.
A Bolivar. I don't even.
Bolivar. Oh my God, it's so delish.
So we shoot this podcast in our son's former bedroom.
Yes.
Okay. Michael's former bedroom.
How old is Michael now?
27.
Unbelievable.
Isn't that crazy?
Because I met you when they were just
3. Michael was 3 when you met me.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
And so down the hall here, if you go out this door down the hall,
Yes.
what was supposed to be my in-laws' bedroom,
Yes.
Mark turned into a cigar room.
Mark has so little of his own.
Anyway, if you come to New York and
Yes.
you want a cigar,
Yes.
Mark's smoking room is really fun.
Oh my God.
So do you ever, here's a question I want to know. Do you ever get starstruck by any other celebrities?
All
and have
the time.
All the time. Who's like, give me, besides the
Okay.
people, besides the actors from The Crown, who else?
Okay, so mostly musicians, because I honest to God, no hyperbole. I wish I could do that, and I am moved by music.
Yeah.
I love it in my life. But we took our grandson to sushi for his birthday.
Uh-huh.
At the next table over is Robert De Niro.
Oh.
On my short list of dreams is to do just a scene with Robert De Niro.
Well, I mean,
I'd like to meet Michelle Obama.
oh my gosh. Jan, can write this down. Jan, make this happen.
I want to know Jan. Wait a minute.
Jan makes things happen you cannot imagine.
Jan, I need to have your number.
What's first, the Lexus or Michelle Obama?
Forget the Lexus. I will walk.
We want Michelle Obama.
You have Michelle Obama connections.
I do.
Yes,
I actually do.
So
This is so
use your
random.
use your connects because I know Michelle Obama. We've had her on the show.
Of course.
And I guarantee you, she is a Barry fan. I know she grew up watching Happy Days. I know that.
We're going to get a message from Michelle Obama.
Yes. As in my opinion, the nicest man in Hollywood, and certainly the nicest man in show business. When you're dealing with somebody who is not nice,
Yes.
and in show business, there are a lot of not nice
Yes.
people.
Yes.
What is your approach for dealing with not nice people?
I will tell you exactly.
Okay.
You look at them as sociological events. You do not take it personally. I worked with an actor who called me Thumper because he could not get me angry.
Thumper.
I worked with an actor who was mean and overbearing. And no matter what he said to me, and he said to me at a moment in my working with him, "You are so lucky that you're short, or I would rip your head off your neck." And I said, let me say, I have never been so happy to be this short.
Was it Anson Williams?
No, it wasn't.
No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing.
The members of the Happy Days cast that, bless them, are still alive,
Yeah.
are very much family.
Yes. Yeah.
We see each other. We love each other. We take care of each other.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, I cannot wait to get in touch with Jan My entire life is in her hands.
I don't say this about many people, but I've never met a more capable human being in my life at
Yeah.
just getting everything done.
And apparently connected.
Connected.
Does she know I just wrote Jelly Roll a fan letter?
Oh.
Does she know Mr.
You wrote
Roll?
Jelly Roll? Wait, you wrote Jelly Roll? We got to get into that. You love Jelly Roll?
I think that if his history is true,
Yes.
where he has journeyed and the emotion that he is willing to share with us now through his music, and he is funny.
Yeah, he is funny.
And I wrote
Yeah.
Mr. Roll a letter.
Mr. Roll. Yeah, tell me about the letter. How does it start? Dear Mr.
Mr.
Jelly
Roll.
Roll?
Dear Mr. Roll.
Dear Mr. Roll.
By the way, you make things happen yourself, because I heard you talked about Mahomes and you met him,
Yeah.
Patrick
Oh.
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Can I tell you,
Yeah.
Patrick, if you're listening, I wish you only the best. I wish you a three-peat. And, my son, Max, one of our three children, is a wonderful director. And he just finished American Horror Stories. He ran it, directed, produced with Alexis, his partner. And he hired me as an actor on the show.
And so what was that like?
I asked for a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
and the crew brought me the paper cup of coffee, and it said, Daddy Winkler on the cup. My heart flew out of my body.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is
So-
incredible.
He just directed another show he just finished, and Travis Kelce
Travis Kelce.
was an actor on that show, and I got an autograph picture from him. So now I have Patrick and Travis.
That's unbelievable.
But Max helped you with your audition to Barry, right?
He did.
Yeah, so take us through the process.
Okay, so he's there when I get the script. I get the call. They would like to meet you for Barry. You're on a short list. I said, okay. Max is there. And I work through the script with him over my shoulder. Because I can't read very well. I improvise a lot.
Right.
He said, respect the writer, Dad. Not
Yeah.
this time. I
Right.
said, Max, I've always done it. He said, not this time.
Yeah.
He said, there's an exclamation point there. Use it.
I love that. First of all, I love that you listen. You know what? It's going back full circle to what you said before. Listen to your children.
And I'm telling you, so he's very good. I would be crazy not to listen to him as a professional.
Right. There's so much information now about dyslexia and dysgraphia.
Yes. But there's so much shame.
There's so much shame, and there's
Oh,
so
my
much
goodness.
people, they don't really understand the diagnosis at all. But you were one of these people that taught me that dyslexia is a superpower. It really is like a superpower. But when you grew up dyslexic and you were undiagnosed, tell me what that was like for you and how you were treated at school by teachers, by your parents. When you grew up dyslexic and you were undiagnosed, tell me what that was like for you and how you were treated at school by teachers, by your parents.
First of all, it was very frustrating because I did not know that there was anything wrong. Nothing seemed to be wrong on the outside.
Right.
And I could not get anything when I had to use my inside. So this is where I had the biggest struggle. I did not mind that my parents didn't know what was wrong. What I minded was, when you have a child, you can see they've got a problem. And then it is up to you. If you cannot solve the problem, at least you can make your child's life a little more comfortable. And I have to tell you, for all of the children that I have ever met anywhere in the world whether they wanted to hear it or not. I've always said to them, how you learn has nothing to do with how brilliant you are.
It's so true. My son Joaquin wound up going to a school called Stephen Gaynor. There's this incredible woman named Yvette Siegel. She was the head of school, and she had this great phrase: every child can learn, but not every teacher can teach.
Right.
And I always found that so profound, because so often they make it seem like it's the child's fault. You know,
Yes.
my son was in a different school. He was in the same school as his older siblings
Right.
when he was diagnosed. And we switched him out of the school because the school told us specifically that he was just being lazy. But
Right.
I think it's because, and I keep going back to, I think the Hank Zipser books gave me the knowledge and the awareness of kids with learning challenges, and that's what made me so proactive
Wow.
with my kids,
makes
because
me
of
very
those
proud.
books. Yeah. Well, you gave that gift to a lot of parents.
Do you know, it's like when your child, let's imagine, God forbid, your child has asthma.
Right.
Are you going to ground your child and they're going to breathe better because they're sitting in their room? It is the same thing, except that it is the wiring in the brain. My joke when I speak publicly is that I found out I had dyslexia. I found out it was hereditary. And the people who called me stupid were the people who gave it to me in the first place.
So your parents called you stupid.
Oh, they called me dumme Hund. And that in German means dumb dog.
You have an empathy and a kindness that was not shown to you as a child. So you overcame that.
Yeah, I just knew.
extraordinary.
I promised Stacy I would be a different parent than my parents were, and that my children could say anything that was on their mind. And sometimes it would make you weep, but they could say it. As long as they told the truth, they never got in trouble.
Do you remember Ann Mira? Did you know
do.
her? Yeah. Okay.
When I was on 1 year ago, I was on the book tour for the memoir Being Henry. And I was at Town Hall, which is on 40 something street in New York. It is where we had high holidays because my synagogue was not big enough. And now I'm on that stage with my memoir, and Ben Stiller was my moderator.
Oh, incredible.
So I remember his mom and dad. We lived in the same neighborhood.
So Anne came to my baby shower when I was pregnant with Michael.
Yes,
And I was working with Anne on All My Children.
yes.
And she was very funny. This is like, I want you to, so listeners, I'm going to take you back in time. Anne was sitting next to me. She was actually helping me keep a list of who was like, who was giving what, so I could write thank you notes. But we were in a restaurant on the Upper West Side, and she's smoking a cigarette. I mean, I've got so many iconic pictures of me pregnant and Anne with a cigarette. This is a sign of the times.
Right.
Anyway, she had given me this beautiful baby book, and each page had an envelope in it for the first lock of hair, for the first tooth, for the umbilical cord. You name it, it had an envelope for it. And I go, Anne, this is amazing. It's got an envelope for the first lock of hair, and it's got an envelope for the first lost tooth. And she looks at me, cigarette in hand, she says, they ought to have an envelope in there for the first tear you shed the first time he tells you to go fuck yourself. And that to me is Ann Mira, burned into my mind forever and ever.
Oh my, that's a great story.
It's like she was just the greatest. I miss her still. So you have this theory about never finishing a sentence with a negative thought. And I want to understand that.
Okay, it's simple. It is not mine. It is something I read two philosophers.
Okay.
So they have books that are thousands of pages long I think I read 7 pages combined.
Okay.
On those 7 pages, this is what I learned. You finish a negative thought, it grows into a thesis and locks you in place. You become stopped in time. Everything shuts down if you don't finish a negative thought. And the first thing you have to do is say, I'm getting it. It's coming in. I'm sorry. I've got no time for you now. You say it out loud so that you become very aware. And then you replace that negative as you move it out of your mind in with a positive. So now you've got the positive thought. Don't put a period on the end of a negative thought. Do not finish it, because if you do, it will so grow that it will stop you from moving forward. And you've got to stop it from ever taking root in your brain.
And so when it starts, you literally
Say out loud,
I've
got no time.
vocalize.
I have no time for you now. And then you move it out and you move a positive in, whatever that is. For me, this weekend, it would be my granddaughter and I finger painting.
Oh.
She's 3 years old. And I kept saying to her, you want to do art? Should we do art? And I realized that it's hard for her to manipulate a pen or a crayon, but finger painting.
Yeah.
Oh my, I just taped it up on her door when she stays over so she can see her artwork.
It actually feels great too as an adult to
It
finger
does.
paint. Yeah.
She used my arm, my entire arm, as her canvas.
So, as an actor, do you believe that you're only as good as your last role? Or are you somebody that is satisfied, like to never work again?
I am never satisfied.
Never satisfied.
I am as ambitious today as I was when I first started, when I would eat through brick to get and find a job. I love it. I love my job. I love that I still get to do it. I'm so grateful. I don't even have words for it.
When I think you have had a long and storied career, is there something that you, Henry Winkler, because Jan is listening and Jan makes dreams come true. Is there a thing that you want to do besides working with Robert De Niro?
All I know is that I want whatever is going to come out of the ether, and there it will be, and then I'll do it. I never know what that is, but with Robert De Niro, it's one of my favorite Hollywood stories.
Yeah.
And since did you bleep your curses on air?
No, we don't bleep them. No.
Here's my story. So Ron Howard and I are walking down the street on Paramount. We're taking a break from rehearsal. Leaning against the doorframe is Robert De Niro. He's doing a scene from The Godfather 2. I said to Ron, we've got to go and say hello. The first movie I ever saw in Hollywood, like a screening, like you get invited to a screening.
Yeah, right.
Mean Streets.
Wow.
Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel. Okay.
Wow.
So we go up and we say hello. And we are finished and we're going to walk away. And I turned around and I said, Mr. De Niro, I just have to tell you, you use the word fuck better than anybody on the planet.
Yeah.
Cut to 40 years later. He's in The Intern, directed by an acquaintance of ours, Nancy Myers.
Yes.
We go to the premiere party, Stacy and I, and against the back wall, Robert De Niro wearing one of those Irish caps. I walk up to him. I turn, I stand against the wall. I'm looking at him and I said, I have to ask you, like every fan has asked me, I need to take a selfie with you.
Yeah.
He said, okay. I get my camera out.
Yeah.
I'm taking the selfie and he says, 40 years ago, you said I used the word fuck better than anybody. I dropped the camera. I went, he remembers. Oh my God, I exist. Oh, this is the most amazing thing. That's my great story.
I am gagged. Do you know that phrase, gagged? I'm gagged. It's like such an amazing story. That is an incredible story. And so here's the thing. You walked over to him, and what he wanted to say was that he was your biggest fan, but he didn't know how to say that in that moment. You know what I mean? So you were like, you used the word fuck better than anyone else, and he's like, holy shit, that was Henry Winkler.
You know what? I've never looked at the story from that angle.
But that is the angle.
I'm
That's
taking
why
that
he
angle.
remembered that.
I'm
That's
making it
why
mine.
he remembered that.
Oh,
I'm telling
God.
you. I am telling you. That's amazing.
Yeah. That's my story.
I'll tell you a funny Bob
Yeah.
DeNiro story. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so he was on our show.
Right.
It was a Friday.
Yes.
And that Friday, he was on the show. But then we were all going out to LA to do the Academy Awards show.
Right.
So I got on the plane. And who gets on the plane? Robert De Niro.
Oh my God.
Okay? And I say, hi, Bob. It's great to see you again. I was like, small world. And he looks at me and he goes, tell me how I know you again. And I said, oh, you were on my show this morning. And he goes, that's right.
That is a great story.
Well, we appreciate you doing the podcast, and I
Me
can't
too.
wait to see you in New York. And
too.
maybe we'll go see a show, or you'll come have a cigar.
Absolutely. Thank you. Give my
Thank
best
you.
at home.
Yes, and give Stacy a kiss for me, okay?
I
and
promise.
and give Zoe a kiss for me too.
And everybody off camera, thank you for being such an unbelievable audience.
Yay! I couldn't have said it better myself. Bye, Henry.
He's delightful.
Isn't he sweet? I love his response to everything is, isn't he great?
Love.
Is that it?
That's
guess
it.
that's
Are we
it.
rapping?
We are
We're
rapping.
We're done talking.
Henry is incredible.
Henry
I
is
love him.
incredible.
I'm going to go back and watch the Neil Diamond video because it's
Oh.
great. I was watching it this weekend.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's so funny. Okay, don't forget to listen, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts. Bye, everyone. Can't wait to talk off camera next week.
Very good, Jane.
Let's Talk Off Camera with Kelly Ripa is a production of Melojo Productions with help from Goat Rodeo. Our theme song is Follow Me from APM Music. From Melojo, our team is Kelly Ripa, Mark Consuelos, Albert Bianchini, Jan Chalet, Devin Schneider, Michael Halpern, Jacob Small, Roz Therian, Seth Gronquist, and Julia Desch. From Goat Rodeo, our team is Kara Schillen, Megan Nadolski, Max Johnston, Isabel Kirby McGowan, and Rebecca Seidel. Additional sound design by Terrence Bernardo. This show is powered by Stitcher.